back to another Dinosaur Fact Fridays. As always, I'm Ziliujing. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting formation in China called the Ziliujing Formation. Dates back to the late Jurassic, mid to late Jurassic. As you can see, we've made a couple updates to our recording park. As always, we have our little crafty Troodons, which are in their big open exhibit. I should probably put something else in this exhibit, honestly. But we got Telltale, our Troodon. And then on the direct opposite side, we have our Morrison formation consisting of our Camarasaurus, our Stegosaurus, and our Brachiosaurus. Down here, something I forgot to mention last time, we have our Ceratosaurus, and one of the most beautiful colors, I think. Ceratosaurs are a unique large carnivore in Jurassic World Evolution, as they're one of the only ones who can be housed with multiple members. Usually you can only ever get off 2 members, or else they'll start trying to kill each other, or in the case of some very picky ones like our flat black Allosaurus, only one solo individual, which is weird because Allosaurs are known to have probably taken down big game such as Diplodocus in large herds. Then we have our polar hadrosaurs and herbivores, our Erudunalic, which is our Edmontosaurs. We also have our... we got Blue Manfu. I just love Blue Manfu. We've got our Antarctic Muttaburrasaurus. And then we have our Aloru Titan from Russia. And then we have, finally, our Raptor pack. Now I have 3 little Velociraptors. Do we have 3 or do we have 4? We have 4. 4 Velociraptors. And then we have our Kentrosaurs. And our Gallimimus. I'll probably put some Parasaurolophus in there at one point, but being honest, I'm probably going to wait until we do an episode about North America, well, Cretaceous North America, and then I can implement Parasaurolophus, because there's been very similar relatives to Parasaurolophus, or just Parasaurolophus, found in the area where they found Gallimimus. Kentrosaurus there because I have nowhere else to put them, being honest. Anyway, let's get to this section, which is definitely new. This is, I'm going to go over one of these mountains so I can get a better angle. This is the Ziliujing exhibit. The Ziliujing formation is a subset of the Dashanpu formation located in the Ziji Basin around the small township of Dashanpu, China. I am sorry for butchering all these words. I don't speak Mandarin, which is unfortunate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and if you really hate my mispronunciation, please tell me in the comments. Back in the Jurassic, the Ziliujing Formation was once a lush forest, evidence from which has been found alongside dinosaur remains in the form of fossilized wood. Paleontologists speculate there was an area also had a lake that was fed by a large river. Dinosaur remains would have been swept towards the lake from the river over millions of years, thus accounting for the hundreds of specimens found, including over 300 theropod and sauropod footprints, one of the largest footprint tracks outside North America. Formation is dated to between that of 168 million years ago and 161 million years ago. First dinosaur on the list is one of my newfound favorites. They are, if I can find one, they have just wicked armory, and this is the Savannah pattern. I really like it. These are called Gigantospinus, and you can see why, because they have huge, huge shoulder spikes. These guys were actually fairly closely related to Kentrosaurs, which you can see, because they both have the shoulder spikes. Ooh. And this one's a wetland pattern. Get out of the sun. There we go. These are obviously spikes where it would have been a formidable defense, as well as a display feature for mates. The abundance of primitive stegosaurs, such as Gigantospinus, Hunginotosaurus, mixed with more advanced genres such as Chungkingosaurus and Tojanosaurus in the Dashpu Formation. Suggests Stegosauri evolved in Asia before migrating to Africa and Europe and North America, as opposed to traditional thought that they evolved in Africa. Next dinosaur on the list of all the commotion going on is going to be not Ceratosaurus, but if I can find one, Chungkingosaurus, which this one is a savanna pattern. Chungkingosaurus look fairly similar to the larger Tongianosaurus, which we don't have in game, but with diamond-shaped plants on its back, and also has a unique 4 pairs of thagomizers. As you can see, every other Stegosaurus in the park only has 2 pairs, whether that be the previously mentioned, either the older Tongianosaurus, which you only see 4, or the Gigantospinus, which again, only 4, the African Kentrosaurus, which we keep visiting, which, these are an interesting feature. They really only have 4, but you can argue that they have a lot more. You can argue that they have 3 pairs, even 4 pairs. They just have a wicked back. They have a wicked backswing. Or in the case of Stegosaurus, the reason the genus was named Stegosaurus, only has 2 pairs. Back to Chungkingosaurus. That's a Gigantospinus running for its life. That's another Gigantospinus running for its life. That's a Mamenchisaurus. That's not what I clicked on. There we go. This one's a tundra pattern. It's light green, but still got that white specks. Stegosaurus is one of the many, Chungkingosaurus, one of the 3 Stegosaurus found in the Dashanapu Formation. The other Stegosaurs include Tongianosaurus, Gigantospinus, and Chalinginosaurus. Tongianosaurus is the largest Stegosaurus, while the others were much smaller. It has been suggested that larger Stegosaurs, such as Tongianosaurus, lived on the open plains, while smaller Stegosaurs lived in denser, more narrow bodies in the denser forest and swamp areas. Chungkingosaurus is slightly more primitive than most Stegosaurs on the late Jurassic, being a direct descendant of the older Unginotosaur, which was found in the same location but at an older stage in the rocks. Speaking of Unginosaurus, this one's the arid pattern. It's very, very red. Very orange. Unginosaurus in-game is a sturdy, medium-sized herbivore with small plates crossing its back until its hips. 4 spikes above its hips, and then the plates again along, ending with the 4 thagomizers on its tail. It also has 2 large shoulder spikes. A lot of these Stegosaurs, with the exception of Stegosaurus, all have shoulder spikes. The oldest Stegosaur known so far, Unginosaurus, comes from the lower Saximo Formation in the Dashpano Quarries in the Chinese province of Sichuan. Compared to later Stegosaurs, its skull was broader, indicating it was a generalist feeder and was not selective about what it ate. It also had teeth in front of its beaked mouth, a trait usually seen in primitive dinosaurs such as Dilophosaurus. The in-game Unginosaurus is notably oversized compared to its real-life counterpart. In-game, it's almost 27 feet long, while in real life, it only ranges around 15. As you can see, this exhibit's kind of unique because we have large herbivores, armored herbivores, and small carnivores. I like this about Jurassic World Evolution because you can actually mix all 3 together, and they won't kill each other, which is actually pretty interesting. This is a Dilophosaurus. It is the basic pattern, the one that you saw in the original Jurassic Park. Dilophosaurus. If I can find one, they keep darting everywhere. Dilophosaurus. This one is the wetland pattern Dilophosaurus. Now, much different to its in-movie and in-game counterparts, the real Dilophosaurus was around 20 feet long. It was a comparatively medium-sized dinosaur compared to many later dinosaurs like T-Rex, Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Spinosaurus. But in the early Jurassic, it was the largest predator on land. Like many predator theropods, it had eyes on either side of its head, so it could not see directly ahead. It's part of a family called Dilophosauridae, a group of early carnivores identified by their elaborate crest, as you can see. It has little black specks. Display that acted as attractive display features to attract mates. Other members of the group include the similar Dinosaurus from China, which is why the Dilophosaurus can be found in-game in China when in reality it was only ever Dilophosaurus weatheri, which is what's depicted here. Was only ever found in Arizona in North America. Draconovator in South America, and the infamous Dilophosaurus, which is one of the only dinosaurs found in Antarctica. I know, it's crazy. I should have probably covered them in, I wish we got Dilophosaurus. Then I would have covered it in our polar dinosaurs video. History of Ceratosaurus as a dinosaur taxon goes all the way back to 1948. The genus was first formally described, however, its description was based off of very partial remains. Something that meant the genus fell by the wayside in popularity stakes. With some paleontologists even treating the Ceratosaurus as a nomen dubia, which is a false name. In 1987, new dinosaur fossils were named Dilophosaurus sinensis, an Asian species counterpart to North American Dilophosaurus weatheri. A second and more complete individual was attributed to Dilophosaurus sinensis in 1994, and in 2003 the eminent Chinese paleontologist Ziliujing was studying the original Ceratosaurus fossils when he came to the fossils named as Dilophosaurus sinensis were actually the species Ceratosaurus. Under international naming rules governing the naming of animals, the older name takes priority, and in such situations, so the fossil material all became labeled Dilophosaurus sinensis, although it was all once labeled Dilophosaurus sinensis, is now known as Dinosaurus. As a living dinosaur, Dinosaurus would have been a medium-sized theropod dinosaurs that still bore striking superficial resemblance to North American Dilophosaurus. Dinosaurs even had the double-headed crests similar to those of Dilophosaurus. These crests were far too ferocious to be used as weapons, as some have erroneously claimed they were. Ceratosaurus also had a distinct notch in its premaxilla and maxilla, something characteristic of all Dilophosauridae. Another feature of Ceratosaurus, despite this similarity though, as so many similarities with Dilophosaurus, it's actually perceived to be more closely related to the infamous Dilophosaurus. And now, perfect timing, we have the Mamenchisaurus, the largest dinosaur in Jurassic World, although it is rivaled in size by both Brachiosaurus and the Dreadnoughtus now. Mamenchisaurus was a titanic genus of sauropod that was originally found in late Jurassic Asia. Mamenchisaurus is it's a member of, course, the family of Mamenchisauridae, from which it derives from this specimen. A family of sauropods unique to Jurassic Asia. It also includes Omiosaurus. Members of this family are characteristic by having a longer neck than tail ratio, as you can see, giving them a strange yet graceful appearance. It is still unsure why these necks grew so long, though its most likely explanation is to have reached higher growth and thus avoid competition with other herbivores. At 70 tons and over 80 feet long, Mamenchisaurus is the largest sauropod in China and the largest dinosaur in Jurassic World. Fossil evidence suggesting that it may have lived all the way from Mongolia to Thailand. In Dashanapur Formation, Mamenchisaurus lived alongside many species of Stegosaurus, such as the Chungkingotosaurus gigantispinus. It is now thought that Mamenchisaurus had a small club at the end of its tail that it could use to ward off predators, similar to its relative Shonosaurus. However, the fossil demonstrating this hadn't been discovered at the time of the production of the Lost World Jurassic Park, in which this dinosaur's in-game appearance is based off of its second film counterpart. I like the wetland pattern of the Mamenchisaurus the most. So, unfortunately, we don't have the iconic club at the end of the tail that I think would be pretty interesting to see. And that has been the Ziliujing formation.